Now I'm delighted to be here in the beautiful surroundings on this autumnal day, near winter's day, in Cappagh in County Limerick with my very, very good friend, Billy Maguire. And Billy, it's great to have you with us again here
Thank
today.
you very much, John.
And thank you so much because over the last year and a half since I've got to know you, and we have done numerous programs on the various historical aspects of this country, so many people at home and abroad are zoning in and inquiring, well, we never knew this about 1916 Rising, we never knew this about the 1918 All-Ireland election, or anything like that. So
Bloody Sunday, John.
And Bloody Sunday.
That's the crucial one.
Yeah, now this is what we're going to start, because you were quite annoyed and very vexed over, so tell us about...
I'm not only annoyed, I'm disgusted with the whole thing. And I'm disgusted with RTE.
Okay.
You know, they say their slogan is RTE News, and they say the truth matters. They've never told the truth about the IRB.
Right.
And they've told nothing about our sovereignty. They don't speak about it. Either does the Free State government.
Right.
And it's time it came out. If it doesn't come out, I'm off. And so is the Sovereign Republic of Ireland.
Right.
That's it now, and that's the end of it. We're coming to the end of that now. And they have no... the Vaughan's Hotel papers were put away. And I'm asking, why for Bloody Sunday did they not go and send somebody to see the Vaughan's Hotel papers? I gave all the Vaughan's Hotel papers to the University of Limerick.
Yes.
As you know, we talked about the peace, reconciliation, and
Correct.
prosperity process. We talked about Pope Pius XII. He brought my father and mother out to Rome, and he wanted the conflict with England, the Crown of England, and all the violence through a university, rather than looking for money for guns and all bombs, and that was out.
Yes.
And that's what they did. And all those old monks and friars, as we know, you've been to the friary in
Skeaton, yes.
They were the ones who lobbied Pope Pius XII that all the old Celtic Christianity shouldn't be airbrushed out, and the truth should come about, and where Roman Christianity came from, and the facts of it. And I do the sovereignty. That's all we do, is the sovereignty and legitimacy of the state.
Yes.
And you have to be able to go right back with that to the Middle Ages. You've got to go back 1155 when Pope Adrian illegally and fraudulently gave Hibernia, which is Eire, to Henry II to build his empire.
Yes.
You've got to go right back to the two 5-string harps. And if you
yes, that's right.
You'll see them over there. That's what they represent, and they were on the Ark of the Covenant. And you go back to the harp, which is only one image, and we can trace our sovereignty of the Irish and Celtic people right back to that. The Vikings and all those people can go back to it, you know, and that's what's so important, to be able to trace that back. It's the sovereignty of God and the sovereignty of mankind. That's how we do it. And the two 5-string harps were on the Ark of the Covenant, and Rome changed those. Lindisfarne is where all that was changed. To two angels, and that was controlling the people. But the people, now I'm asking that the people, our sovereign people, should be told the truth by the government. It's a free state government we have, and by the judiciary and by the clergy. You know, they should tell the people the truth and the facts. That's all we're asking.
Yes.
And I think it's shocking to think that 100 years on, we had the commemoration, as you know, for Bloody Sunday, and they never sold. They had a few documentaries. You'd think they would have gone and found out about Vaughan's Hotel and why it was so important.
Now, I want to ask that. I want to zone in on that part, because I was listening to the commemorations and there was no mention of the IRB, no mention of Vaughan's Hotel. But why?
Because it's airbrushed out. And I'll tell you, the reason why it's so important, the 1918 32 county election.
Yes. A lot of people have referred to that.
Now, you start off, the Free State government has never referred to it. RTE never refers to it. And they treat the IRB with total contempt. You know, that's nothing to do. We only do the sovereignty and legitimacy of the state. And the whole purpose of Sam Maguire is so you have the GA The IRB founded the GAA.
Now, the IRB founded the GAA.
That's it.
Okay.
And John Francis Maguire, you have the Cork Examiner.
Yes.
You know, and his staff, who became his staff there, John Wisepower and John McKay, they were sent to Thurles at the time, to the Hazes Hotel, because they knew how to establish an organisation, and that's what they did. The GAA is the backbone of our state, and always was. And as we've talked about India's independence, they had with the salt tax and all that. And we talked about, those monks going right back. They were the ones who discovered salt and how you preserve food. And then they could go on board ship and they could go on voyages. That's also important, where we come from. But the importance of Sam Maguire was, he was the secretary of the IRB, and he was also my granduncle's secretary in Vaughan's Hotel. And he was the Church of Ireland, and he was educated for the British civil service.
Yes.
And he got into the post office in London, and eventually he was so good at his job and so dedicated. He got to the office where all the intelligence from all the Crown forces and all the Royal Navy were coming through his office. So he had all the intelligence of all the Crown force from all over the world.
Right.
And he came every Saturday. He only had a half day and a Saturday. And every Saturday he came to Vaughan's Hotel with all that. He was the chief intelligence officer. There were others as well, but he was the chief one. And he brought all that intelligence. And as you know, 1916 and then the 1918 32 county. So they were always ready. We were ready for that 1918 32 county election.
Yes.
And as I said before, that in 1916, we only had in Vaughan's Hotel, we only had a room for Mrs. Vaughan, Mr. On behalf of the Irish and Fenian Republican Brother, Common Amon, the Fenian, Indian, all those Republican organisations, they were all there. As they were in Willowbank afterwards, we'll explain that.
Yes.
But anyway, Sam was the one who brought that intelligence every day.
Sam Maguire
of the GAA. The trophy is called after him.
Yeah, that's correct.
In his honour, right? And it's important. And of course, Collins was a great influence on. He was a great influence. Michael Collins. And we showed that, which I'm going to get up and show you, of Sam Maguire wearing.
Yes, I saw that was a fascinating photo there.
I want to show that because it's important for people to go and do your own homework. I'm not going to tell you what to do. You've got to do it yourself. But there's Sam Maguire.
Now, if you take a look at this photograph, folks, I'll just bring it a little closer here to me.
You do it, John.
That's fine. That's fine. Now, this is the photograph, and you will see there in Sam Maguire himself, and he's the only one that's actually wearing the harp.
There are others as well in it. But
all right.
To see them.
And this is the original Sam Maguire cup in the front as well.
Yes.
Right.
And that's just called after him.
Yes.
But it's important. And it's important to see that's the harp that we've been talking about.
Yes, correct.
And our sovereign seal. And that's really, on St. Patrick's Day, that's what they all have. That was the GA medal. Look.
Yes.
You know?
No, we'll just have another look at that, Billy.
He's wearing that. And the GA...
This is actually what Sam Maguire and others are wearing in that photograph.
That's what they're wearing?
Yes.
And that's what they're wearing. Look. And the GA took it off. Look, put up that one.
You see, there's so many questions, but I just ask two that come to mind immediately.
We're coming to the sovereignty.
Yes.
And we're coming to... That's what we're coming to.
Yes. But what I need to know is this, right? In any programme, in any series of anything, you do your research.
Yes.
You have to know what questions to ask.
Right,
so,
John.
for the life of me, I cannot understand the intelligent people of RTE and others sitting down, analysing a series in commemoration of Bloody Sunday. No mention of Vaughan's Hotel.
No mention of Sam
Maguire. No mention of the RB.
No mention of the GA.
But, like, that is
and
like...
It was all happened out. They were going to Crow Park to commemorate it. And they never asked. They did no. They're rewriting our histories. What they're doing.
You see, this is not right.
And that is wrong.
They have no right to do that.
No.
Because then that's not history.
It's not our history.
That's not our history.
That isn't
our history. Is bloodied.
But the point is, Sam, we'll finish with Sam.
Yes.
Sam brought that intelligence all the time to Vaughan's Hotel, and it's all in the Vaughan's Hotel papers.
Yes.
And he brought the document that we had our 1918 32 county election, which I'm going to ask you to read.
I read that after. Yeah,
right.
I will, of course.
And that established the sovereignty of the 32 counties and the democratically elected TDs to Dáil Éireann.
Yes.
By the will and wish of all the people of the 32 counties. And you will read out that in a moment.
No, you read it as you have it there.
You'll read it in a moment.
You know.
But the point is, we won that election when it was called on the 14th of December 1918. On the 28th, we won 73 seats out of 105. And you will read out exactly that, because you will never hear anybody mention that.
No.
The Free State never mentioned the sovereign government.
Viewers at home and abroad have commented on our interviews, and they have said it's just remarkable the amount of information that you have that's factual. And none of them ever heard about the 1918 All-Ireland election.
And that's what established our sovereignty. That's our
yes.
You have to have sovereignty to sit in Europe. And Mairead McGuinness, who's now
a trade commissioner or something like that, you know.
And she'd take the oath of allegiance to the European Union. She has to. And she won't take it to the sovereign Dáil Éireann government. Either will any of the politicians, either will any of the Judge Wolf won't take it. What is the question you have to ask him is, what oath is he taking? Is it to the Free State that was imposed on the 6th of December 1921, or is it to the Sovereign Republic of Ireland in the 1918 32 county election?
Yes.
The democratically elected. Now, Britain would not allow the Sovereign Republic of Ireland. They wouldn't allow it to function. And and you'll read that letter, and it'll make it very clear.
Yes.
I mean, they savagely came and attacked everybody.
No.
But then this is the important point.
Yeah.
The intelligence came from Sam Maguire.
Correct.
That
yes.
They were going to send the Cairo gang.
Yeah, I was just about to come to that.
The Cairo gang. I don't know whether you got a photograph of it or not. I had a photograph.
I did, yes, actually.
Right.
I did.
You have a photograph?
I have a photograph, yeah.
You will show the photograph of the Cairo gang.
Yes.
And Sam Maguire came with that information to Vaughan's Hotel.
Yes.
And the Supreme Council, of course, they watched every time they had a meeting. But they came when to destroy, to execute, and to annihilate the members of the sovereign Dáil Éireann government. All the ministers, all the judges, the top civil servants, and the top of judiciary, to execute them.
No.
And that is signed by King George V and the British government. That document is inside the Vaughan's Hotel papers. And I gave that to the University of Limerick. And as you know, Brendan O'Regan took over, and Tom O'Donnell took over from Brendan O'Regan. Tom O'Donnell has hidden all those documents. 3 furniture van loads of those documents and memorabilia.
Why? Why would he do that?
Why? And he would not, and he's only just dead, Lord of Messer, and I was a great friend of Tom, and I did that Vaughan's Hotel papers for the peace, reconciliation and prosperity process. I did it for Brendan O'Regan. I did it for Tom O'Donnell. I did it for John Hume. I did it for all those people. We have a sovereign Dáil Éireann government, and Britain wouldn't allow it, because Britain doesn't have sovereignty. Britain has royalty.
Royalty, and there is a difference.
And there's sovereignty comes from God, but we've explained about the
Yes, that's right.
And royalty and the Constitution are man-made, and that's the difference between the two. And
what I wanted to ask you was, on that train of thought, Billy, because people will be asking about this, about the Cairo gang. Is it true then that the Cairo gang were contracted by the British government at that time to execute every top civil servant in Ireland?
Every minister, every that's what they were contracted to do.
Right.
And Sam Maguire, as I said, he was in that desk in the post office where all that information was going through, and he got the document signed by the King George V, and the British government to allow the the Cairo gang to execute the sovereign All-Ireland government that was democratically elected by the will and wish of all the people. So, they would not allow that to function as a government. And that's what they did.
And that contract killing
was
signed by the King.
That's what they did. And there's no use talking or telling me anything else, because they're the facts of the matter. And all you've got to do is, where did Tom O'Donnell put those bonds? I've been asking him all his life since he took over.
Yes.
And they changed the peace, reconciliation, and prosperity. He changed it, because the Free State changed it to the Peace Initiative.
Right, okay.
It was Pope Pius XII, the Peace, Reconciliation and Prosperity process. And we explained about the prosperity process, about Brendan O'Reilly going out to the Venus Brotherhood in America. And they lobbied to build all those factories in Shannon and all over the country. That was the prosperity.
A huge success story.
A huge success story. And why aren't the people told that? And why are they covering? Why is RTE covered? RTE doesn't even have a license. They're always shouting about a due license. Yes. Only the sovereign government, by the will and wish of all the people, can issue a license. That's why there's no error under the sovereign seal. They're not even entitled to wear that sovereign seal, because they're under the Crown of England since the 6th of December 1921. And if you want to see the document, you can show it there and that.
Yes.
Show that, John.
But like the one thing...
There's the document that established it.